Arman Tsarukyan. He's fighting Charles Oliveira. What did you think? How much improvement has this man made that you guys fought the first time?
Of course he improved. He have more experience, but same skills, you know. He beat the oldest guy because they don't have wrestling. But when someone have good wrestling skills, he always have trouble. With Gamrot, with me, and it's gonna be again. He have good wrestling skill, but if somebody defends, they have problem.
In a bold statement ahead of his upcoming fight, Islam Makhachev confidently declared that any improvements made by Arman Tsarukyan would not cause a problem for him. Likewise, many boxing analysts believe Islam Makhachev has the edge in his upcoming rematch as he has improved his striking abilities. His well-rounded skill set, combining striking and elite grappling, makes him a strong favorite in the eyes of many experts.
On this lightweight title bout, we got Arman versus Islam. We just did a big deal with Arman. He's a new Jackson athlete, Santos Studio athlete, and I'm excited. This guy I think is on the up and up. And then Islam is obviously a monster. So Luke, I'll kind of let you break down this fight, how you think it's gonna go first.
I mean, I think it's pretty similar. They fought before already, but it's pretty similar to this last matchup. It comes down to endurance, pressure, and who wants it more. Islam's been on top for a long time. It was like wrestling, striking. But he's a better striker. People don't give him credit for what he deserves because he is good on the feet. He can hit hard, and he's getting better. He's getting more confident. He's good everywhere else, too.
Do you think Islam's a better striker?
I think he's a better striker.
Meanwhile, well-known American podcaster Brendan Schaub questioned Islam Makhachev's pound-for-pound status, mentioning a weaker strength of schedule compared to others in the top 5. While he acknowledged it's not Makhachev's fault, Schaub believes Islam still has more to prove before claiming the top spot.
Now, when it comes to pound for pound in your division, I look at strength of schedule. I look at who have you beat, how have you beat them. Islam's strength of schedule, when we're talking about, if you look at the pound for pound list, the top 5 has by far the easiest strength of schedule. He's not my pound for pound number 1. I'll be very clear. Not my king, not bend the knee, dude. Refute, cut my head off. Cut my head off. Not hating on Islam. I know you guys are gonna run with that. I'm not doing that. I'm not hating on him. There's nothing he can do about it. It's not his fault. He fights whoever's in front of him.
He specifically highlighted Arman Tsarukyan as a potential tough challenge for Makhachev, stating that based on Arman's recent performances, he might even favor Tsarukyan in a fight against Islam.
But for his management, whoever's telling this, dude, let's jump to 70. Buddy, you have so much work to do at 55. You have a lot to do at 55 before we bend the knee. And Arman's gonna give you a motherfucking fight. And I would favor Arman after watching his last 3 or 4 performances. I would favor Arman.
Tsarukyan has an impressive record of 22-3 and is coming off a win over former champion Charles Oliveira and a performance of the night win over Beneil Dariush. This is a rematch from 2019, and since that time, both of these guys have a combined record of 18-1. This is such a badass main event.
For sure, he's the best fighter in our division, and he defend his title a couple of times.
Islam Makhachev will defend his lightweight strap against Arman Tsarukyan in a highly anticipated rematch at UFC-311. On the same card, 35-year-old lightweight Renato Moicano will square off against number 9 lightweight combatant Beneil Dariush. Recently, when Moicano was asked a 2-part question by YouTuber Matty Betts, he said, the first part of the question is if Arman Tsarukyan somehow pulls out last minute and the UFC comes to you and says, will Money Moicano fight for the belt in the main event? What is your answer? And the second part is if your answer is yes, how much money you asked for. The 35-year-old fighter confidently responded to the question and stated, I will answer the first one with the second. I fight for free for this belt, brother. 100% I fight for free. If they ask me how much, I don't even care, brother. Just give me the regular paycheck because I am not losing to Islam Makhachev, brother. The Brazilian lightweight combatant believes the promotion put him on the card so he can fill in as backup for the main event. He also emphasized that if he has a chance to win the title, he will go for it right away. Moicano added, I have the answer for his technique, and I know what he's going to do. It's just a matter of time. I know people don't believe in me, but like I say, I don't care. January 18th, if it's not Dariush, it's going to be for the belt, and that's why they are putting me on the same card. I'm ready. Charles Oliveira wants to serve as backup for Arman Tsarukyan versus Islam Makhachev. Oliveira, who returned to winning ways against Michael Chandler at UFC 309, has now expressed a desire to serve as the backup fighter for the impending bout between Arman Tsarukyan and Islam Makhachev. Oliveira has lost to Tsarukyan and Makhachev in the past, and is eager to avenge his defeats if given the opportunity. In an interview, Oliveira was asked if he would watch the fight and serve as a backup if needed. He responded by saying, "I'll be there even if I have to sit close to the cage. If the UFC wants to, why not?" Given that their first fight was close, many fans believe the rematch will be competitive too. However, Michael Chandler disagrees as he expects Islam Makhachev to run through Arman Tsarukyan. Michael Chandler said, "He's just a young, hungry dude making his presence known. He's matured, he's got some great wins. His last win was over Oliveira, my next opponent, so he's earned this title shot. This is gonna be a rematch with him and Islam. He's doing his thing, but yeah, he doesn't like me and says bad things about me." After he beat Oliveira, I actually went back and congratulated him. It's one of those things where I don't hold any animosity towards anybody. I've had spats with Poirier. I've had my spats with these different guys in the past. I enjoy competing against people whether they like me or don't like me. He stated, "I'm going to always operate like I don't necessarily like my opponent, but I don't have anything against him. I don't go into the octagon with any malice or ill will in my heart." Michael Chandler shared his thoughts on the upcoming Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan fight, offering some playful yet honest insights. Chandler emphasized that a fighter is at their best when they're happy, drawing from his own experience. He acknowledged, "That's where I perform the best. Like I said, a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter, and that's my own personal anecdote of my career thus far. But Arman's doing his thing. I wish him well. I think Islam absolutely smokes him, but at least he's got great hair." If Islam Makhachev does smoke Arman Tsarukyan, as Michael Chandler says, it would definitely be a statement-making performance. It also could set up a fight between Makhachev and Chandler later in 2025. Michael Chandler is set to return to the octagon at UFC 309 next Saturday for a rematch against Charles Oliveira. Tsarukyan has been patiently waiting for his chance to vie for the 155-pound title. The Armenian is confident in his skills and believes he has what it takes to dethrone Makhachev and claim the lightweight belt. Naturally, many within the MMA community have come forward with their takes regarding this matchup, and Team John Jones isn't any different. UFC star Islam Makhachev has turned up the heat ahead of his much-awaited rematch with Arman Tsarukyan. Looking back on their first showdown, Makhachev called it a tough fight, but nowhere near the hardest of his career. But now he's ready to settle the score with no surprises.
And he did well in that fight, but I like to finish the all questions, you know. When I have with Volkanovski the fight, I told everybody I have to finish the questions and finish, you know. That's why the second fight, I will be looking for the finish and make everybody shut up.
Despite winning the first fight, Islam Makhachev strongly believed that no one could take him. Calling back the first fight, Arman managed to take Makhachev down once, but Makhachev quickly regained control and went on to secure the victory.
Did he do in that fight to make it one of the tougher fights in your career?
Same things. I don't know his
I think he took you down.
He took me
like
down
3
yes.
times.
No, 1 time, man. No, watch the fight. You never watch my fight?
I watch your fights all the time.
Okay, watch. 3 times, nobody, brother. Even you, Nick, you cannot take me down 3 times, brother.
Take me down 3 times. Many times.
No, it's not true. You know, the first fight.
This time, Islam Makhachev is confident that he knows everything about Arman Tsarukyan's game. He believes that with all the insight he's gained, he will finish Tsarukyan easily in their rematch.
And I don't know his background, you know. He defends my wrestling. He give me just, you know, he's tough. That's why he give me hard time. But now I know everything what he can do.
So you think you'll finish him?
I think yes. You know, Charles, every round almost finish him. Do some guillotine, do some triangle choke, like everything very close. But I think I have more chance.
As the highly anticipated rematch between Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan draws closer, Brandon Gibson, John Jones's coach, believes Islam Makhachev is the favorite in his rematch with Arman Tsarukyan. Gibson praised Makhachev's mental toughness and predicted a dominant performance, highlighting his improved grappling and skills, making the fight less competitive than their first encounter.
I think Islam is rightfully the favorite. He's racking up that championship experience. In the bout with Poirier showed his championship character, like being able to really dig down deep in those later rounds, despite the cut, despite being wobbled. I think Islam's really growing as a champion, and I think we won't see such a close rematch between those two. I think Islam shows domination and showcases his grappling once again.
American mixed martial artist Alex Hernandez predicts that Islam Makhachev will defeat Arman Tsarukyan and believes Makhachev might never lose at 155 pounds due to his dominant skills and well-rounded game.
You know, Arman's his most competitive fight. The dude's an absolute monster, so they're both so tough. I'm gonna lean towards the champ, Islam, but yeah, Arman's a motherfucker to beat, so these guys work cut out for him. If Arman doesn't do it, who I think would be among the most competitive, yeah, I don't really see who beats him, right? Yeah, like who else? Yeah, I think that's why it's such an exciting fight, because they're kind of similar in their versatility. But
Alex Hernandez backs Islam Makhachev to beat Arman Tsarukyan and believes this time he has a better plan, and his practicing team is investing so much time in him.
I think Islam's continue to improve all around and on his feet, and tactically they've got a real brilliant team.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to see him losing.
Makhachev's grappling skills have long been the core part of his game, while his striking has also noticeably improved. This adds another layer to the increasing dangers that the Russian poses with his skill sets. UFC lightweight veteran Michael Johnson vouched for this because he knows how tough Khabib Nurmagomedov is, and the latter is training Makhachev. Johnson, who faced the Hall of Famer at UFC 205 and lost via submission in round 3, is no stranger to the perils of Khabib's fight style. Islam Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, shared his thoughts on the upcoming rematch between Makhachev and Tsarukyan. While he acknowledged that Tsarukyan has a strong ground game, he remained confident in Makhachev's abilities and stated, "I am going to ride with Islam on this one. I think Arman does have a good shot with his wrestling, but we'll see if he can get him down. I think Arman might have the better striking, but from what I've seen, Islam looks like he is just getting better on his feet." Despite Tsarukyan's previous loss to Makhachev, the Armenian challenger remained focused on redemption in this high-stakes fight. However, he also gave credit where it was due, recognizing Makhachev's growth and evolving skill set. The current lightweight champion and pound-for-pound king Islam Makhachev has given some stellar performances in the UFC. Makhachev defeated Charles Oliveira at UFC 280 and claimed the title. He later defeated Alexander Volkanovski twice at UFC 284 and UFC 294. In an interview, Makhachev was questioned about Tsarukyan as his next contender. The fighter shared his response by expressing that Tsarukyan needed to prove himself before getting a title fight. He said, "It's time for him to prove himself with his fights. I don't know. I won't judge him. Let him fight and win. Maybe he'll get the title fight." Arman Tsarukyan confidently expressed his belief in his ability to defeat Islam Makhachev ahead of their highly anticipated rematch, stating to ESPN, "He's the best in our division, and I think I'm the only one who can beat him right now." Tsarukyan believes that this opportunity is the best thing that could happen to his career, though he remains undeterred by the challenge that Makhachev presents. While Tsarukyan acknowledges Makhachev's impressive skills, he also recalls their first encounter with a sense of pride. Despite losing the fight, Tsarukyan managed to take Makhachev down once after attempting 12 takedowns, a feat he views as significant. Tsarukyan added, "He's not as good as people think. I mean, people think he's unbeatable, crazy wrestling, but I took him down when I was 22 years old." Islam Makhachev has only been taken down twice in his UFC career. One of those was by his opponent in January, Arman Tsarukyan. However, the champ landed 3 of his own, and it played a key role in his decision victory 5 years ago. Both are much better fighters since, so it may not be worth it to take too much away from that one heading into their January clash.
Усни, Шариф. Усни, не сдавайся. Не сдавайся, Шариф. Не уснул, да? Как не дают, смотри, да как ты... Вчера говорил, что ему никто еще не
Terrence McKinney shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan, praising Tsarukyan's striking skills, but ultimately favoring Makhachev. McKinney highlighted Makhachev's height and size as key factors that would help him win most scrambles and secure the victory. He added, "I like what Arman brings as a threat on the feet, but I think Islam will win just because of his height. He will be able to win most of the scramble. I think he was a bigger person just in general, and I think 5 rounds dealing with a person with that much muscle is tough. I think Islam shows why he's still champ, but this should probably be his toughest title fight." Fans are eager to see if Tsarukyan can challenge the champion or if Makhachev will continue to prove why he's at the top of the lightweight division. Either way, it's bound to be an exciting clash that keeps us all on the edge of our seats. The upcoming fight between Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan promises to be an intense and thrilling battle, with Makhachev's dominant skills and physical advantages alongside Tsarukyan's striking prowess and determination. This rematch has all the ingredients for a memorable showdown. What is your pick? Can Tsarukyan's striking ability challenge Makhachev's well-rounded game? Let us know your opinions in the comment section.